Our next speaker is Dr. Silvana Quattrochi Montanaro. Dr. Silvana Quattrochi Montanaro received her degree in medicine and surgery with a specialty in psychiatry from the University of Rome. In 1955, she joined the staff of the Rome Montessori School for Assistance to Infancy, where she taught mental hygiene, child neuropsychiatry, nutrition, and obstetrics. Dr. Montanaro co-founded the Italian Medical Institute for the Study of Relaxations, Phenomena, and States of Consciousness, and serves as a trainer in respiratory autogenic training. She also worked in clinics and hospitals to prepare couples to nurture children under the age of 3. She was responsible for bringing AMI assistance to infancy training to the US. Dr. Silvana Quattrochi Montanaro has acted as Director of Training on AMI assistance to infancy courses in Houston, Denver, London, Mexico City, San Diego, and has also been the Director of Training for the AMI assistance to infancy courses in London and Mexico City, Rome, and Yokohama. I now welcome Dr. Montanaro to deliver the speech. She would like to garland you.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. My Lord, what technology is very good and we become dependent on them. I had prepared the PowerPoint presentation because my English is not so good, so I said the many good quotes can be read by everyone. But now, I don't see that we could do that. So you have to stay with my bad English. I have to talk about peace and education, and we know very well how much I have to put in the mouth. All right. So, she was interested in this. First of all, I want to say I'm very happy to be here for the first time with you here today. And, ladies and gentlemen and chief guests, I want to express my gratitude to the people who made this possible for me. Mrs. Rukmini Ramachandran, the Congress Committee. Education and peace, the topic we want to face tonight, is certainly of the greatest interest for us at any level, personal, national, and as people working in Montessori education. I feel that I must let Montessori speak more than speak for her, that I cannot really substitute myself with her. I can only offer my voice for repeating many things she said so clearly and so passionately in the European capitals from 1932 to 1939 when the Second World War started. The great involvement of such an eminent educator in the problem of peace is well known to all of you. Our common meditation can be about what we can continue to do in our personal life and in our daily work. We can also try seeing if there is anything more we can apply in our personal commitment in order to reach the great but absolutely necessary goal of peace in our world. Montessori says, the war of today is not due to hate against the enemy. Who could affirm it if we fight today against one nation and tomorrow against another one? And she goes directly to the important points. In order to reach the peace in the world, we need two things. First of all, a new human being, a better human being. Second, an environment without limits for the infinite desire of this new human being. This is why Montessori affirmed the absolute necessity of a new world for a new human being. This is the pressing necessity. Her faith, I have to get out the pieces because they are not ready. I thought it was different. Sorry. So, her faith in a new world comes from the great acquisition over time, like the possibility of flying, communicating so rapidly using the spatial waves of the universe. In this new world, she envisages the new child who is predestined to conquer the infinite. And such conquests are so big that they require the cooperation of all human beings. When in September 1936, Montessori went to the European Congress for Peace in Brussels, she started her speech with a clear and strong affirmation. To avoid the conflicts is the work of politics. To build the peace is the work of education. It is urgent to understand the necessity of a collective and united effort for the construction of peace. As she clarifies that an education capable of constructing peace cannot be limited to a type of school and learning, she says, the education constructive of peace cannot be limited to the school and instruction. It is a work of universal magnitude. It needs a good development of human personality, but also an orientation towards the human finalities and the present condition of the social life. Because not only human beings are almost unknown to themselves, but they also ignore the social mechanisms from which depend their interests and their immediate salvation. I think it's clear that we are exactly in this situation. We know very well the continuous efforts Montessori did in order to awake all people, but especially the ones directly responsible for educating the new generations. Let me quote from her book, The Formation of Men. With the passage of time, Montessori says, we have become even more convinced of the importance of education, and we wish to infuse new life into our endeavor, so that it may become an effective means for the reconstruction of a modern society, sadly disfigured by the ravages of this worst of all wars in history. I feel, Montessori continues, as if I was addressing a strong family which must continue along the road I have opened up, and which, young and vigorous though it be, has great need of faith and hope. Here we are today together once again, the strong family Montessori envisaged so long ago, each of us trying to continue to apply her discoveries about the greatness of the human mind in children. Montessori has been certainly pleased when neuroscientists have counted the brain cells, arriving to the conclusion of 100 billion neurons, each with the possibility of making 50,000 connections. This great panorama is strongly reduced when we consider that even the brain of the greatest human beings is used only for 2-4% of its potential. But even with such a low performance, the human brain is considered the most complex object of our galaxy. In the book Amazing Brain, the two scientists who wrote it say, there are perhaps about 100 billion neurons or nerve cells in the brain. And in a single human brain, the number of possible interconnections between these cells is greater than the number of atoms in the universe. I'm sorry you cannot read it because I said maybe they will remember these things, and going home they say, well, what I have inside, all these possibilities. The human brain, another scientist writes, is the most complete and potent computer. As peace is certainly the most favorable condition for any human development, we must conclude that when a better environment can be offered to our children, we are sure of helping their potential richness and of providing the more favorable developmental situation. Montessori says that in our work of education, we need faith and hope, but we can affirm that it is possible to have such faith and hope because today we know that the true nature of human beings is a very good one, and the children have shown it to us. I have the privilege to work with very, very young children. I do the 0 to 3. And in the many years I have been in contact with them, there are 2 or 3 things really moving that I always see everywhere. And one is that once they know you and you approach them when they are eating and you say, is it good? Mm-hmm. They don't speak yet, many of them. Yes, may I have some? They get it out of the mouth. And of course I eat it. So, but this is really how, and another thing that is always so moving is that crawling children, which means not yet walking, not yet 12, 14 months old, if they see a piece of material on the floor that another child left, crawling, they pick it up and bring it back to the place. So we know, because we stay there with them, that we are good-natured and we can do very good things. Montessori education, you know very well, it's based on the preparation of the right environment for the development of human personality. It is this personality we wish to help since the first moment, and this help is generally called education. What should come out in this is the great inner potential each of us brings into life at birth, because the billion of neurons we were talking about are all in place 2 months before birth. So the newborn says all of them ready to work. These neurons are only waiting for the right environment in order to manifest their potential. This special condition belongs to all human beings. We all start by being children, and we all grow from childhood to manhood or womanhood, Montessori says, without changing the unity of our person. So we must conceive a principle of education that has regard to all stages. And she underlines also that the development of the human being, especially during the first 2 years of life, is a veritable miracle of creation. It's impressive, a veritable miracle. This miracle, ignored for thousands and thousands of years, must be known in order to provide the right condition for the miracle to happen. So Montessori gives us ideas and says the basis of the reform of education and society, which is a necessity of our times, must be built upon the scientific study of man, the unknown. And now we know in the last decades how much neuroscientists have gone exactly in this direction, studying the human mind, the psychology. And Montessori continues, it is therefore possible to conceive a universal movement for human reconstruction, which follows a single path. Its sole aim is to help a man to preserve his balance, his psychic health, and build up a secure orientation in the present conditions of our world. This movement is not limited to any particular political trend. because it aims at the simple realization of human values, and that is what is of primary interest over and above all political or national differences. So education now becomes a social and human endeavor of interest to all, and needs, in order to actualize all these, two things, three really, she says. A pedagogy following the guidance of psychology that she called psychopedagogy. A clear understanding of our civilization, and then a syllabus which can give an understanding of the condition of the human being in modern society, with the cosmic vision of history and of the evolution of the human life. It is of great interest to underline the strong preoccupation of Montessori in providing this new educational program, because it is clear that without the cosmic frame of reference, all educational strategies will not be able to modify the millennia of human wrongs. She asks us to consider the young child not the son of the human being, but the creator and father of the human being, with the work as his fundamental instinct and as the way of healing all defects. So this human being shows also other extraordinary qualities. A type of love which is not attachment, a discipline that is not submission, a possibility of relating to reality which is not just imagination. This child, this human child, gives us a great light and shows us a new human being whose love for the environment is the secret of all human progress and of our social evolution. This love produces an intelligent activity, the human work in every civilization. We know by long personal experience that what we call our normalized children are always joyfully active, contributing to their personal and cosmic evolution. It is maybe useful to remember briefly how, since the end of the World War II, the necessity of peace as the only possible situation for survival and development of any kind of life came clearly to the attention of all people responsible for decisions in their countries, and these people tried to prevent the possibility of another conflict, establishing what it has been called the United Nations. In November 1988, at the international conference there, they adopted a resolution regarding the rights of man and the culture of peace, reaffirming the commitment to contribute to all the social undertaken within the framework of the year 2000 and proclaim this year the year of peace. But soon it was clear that that was not enough 1 year. So they proclaimed 2001 to 2010 the decade, international decade for a culture of peace and non-violence for the children of the world. We are still in this decade because we are just at the beginning of 2009. So we have this year and the next year still part of this decade for peace. So going back to our working place, I hope that we can try to participate in a practical way to these international efforts. The children we take care of can be involved and sensitized according to their ages. What is really important, I think, it is to increase the consciousness of this important problem so that appropriate activities can come into being. We know very well, and we are profoundly convinced of what Montessori told in Copenhagen in 1937. She said, education is the weapon of peace. Education is our working field, the place where we try to prepare for children an environment where a peaceful and productive life is possible. All of us have witnessed these results, so now we know well that human beings are born with not only the great potential, but they want to do the good, and they can become peaceful people. Recently, neurocardiology has discovered in the human heart a neural structure which should work in accordance with the 4 brains in our head. The 4 brains that now, of course, I cannot explain, are the ones evolution produced in living beings, one after the other, during the process of evolution. But this recently one is a 5th, and which can give us, the human beings, a new evolutionary possibility that transcends violence and creates a new reality. We have great models for this: the Buddha, Jesus, Lao Tzu, Krishna, Eckhart, and many more. Since when Montessori was going around the European capitals, speaking in favor of peace, we have received from her enduring effort many good suggestions and advice for reaching this great end. Already in Geneva in 1932, she denounced the fact that such a terrible human phenomenon like the war seems to be accepted by everyone as something unavoidable, and no real effort is done for trying to understand its hidden motivations. She says, in the history of humanity, we call peace the forced adaptation of the dominated people who lost everything during the war and remain victim of the disaster. And she continues, the real peace is the triumph of justice and love between human beings. And it is inside the human psyche that we have to look in order to find the source of such disaster that we call war, because Montessori talks of an unknown chapter of human psychology. Having time, we could quote something by Freud, but wouldn't go well. So the war is not caused by arms, Montessori says, but by wrong things we have in the head. So it is up to the human beings to decide their destiny. And if they will be able to let the arms fall down of their hands, in that moment, a splendid day will start for all humanity. It would be impossible to conclude this address without remembering and giving voice to one of the greatest 20th century's apostles of peace, the Mahatma Gandhi, especially in his own country. He says, I own that I have an immortal faith in God and His goodness, and an inconsumable passion for truth and love. But is that not what every person has latent in him? I remain an optimist, Gandhi continues. Not that there is any evidence that I can give that the right is going to prosper, but because of my unflinching faith that right must prosper in the end. Our inspiration can come only. So the war is not caused by arms, Montessori says, but by wrong things we have in the head. So it is up to the human beings to decide their destiny. And if they will be able to let the arms fall down of their hands, in that moment, a splendid day will start for all humanity. It would be impossible to conclude this address without remembering and giving voice to one of the greatest 20th century's apostles of peace, the Mahatma Gandhi, especially in his own country. He says, I own that I have an immortal faith in God and His goodness, and an inconsumable passion for truth and love. But is that not what every person has latent in him? I remain an optimist, Gandhi continues. Not that there is any evidence that I can give that the right is going to prosper, but because of my unflinching faith that right must prosper in the end. Our inspiration can come only from peace, because we know very well that the children are the only human beings capable of renewing humanity. And then I want to quote something Montessori said in Bruxelles in September 1936. We all form just one organism, a unique nation. This unique nation, which has been the unconscious psychological and religious aspiration of the human soul, Montessori continues, we can proclaim with the cry arriving from one side to the other of the earth. Now it's finally reached. The humanity as an organism is born, she says. This superconstruction that absorbed all the efforts of the human beings since their origin has been realized. We live in it. We have a proof in these almost miraculous powers which put today the human beings above their nature. We can fly higher and surer than the eagles. We have available the invisible secret energy of the universe. We can look in the infinity of the skies, and we can collect the vibration of all the music of the world. The human beings, we have the secrets capable of transforming the matter. In the end, the human beings of today, Montessori proclaims, are the citizens of the great nation of the humanity. It is absurd to think that such a human being, endowed with powers superior to nature, can be Indian, French, English, or Italian. He is the new citizen of the new world. He is the citizen of the universe. So I think we have to take seriously what Montessori said and try to put ourselves in this frame of reference of the universe. We are citizens of the universe. Fathers and teachers forget to pronounce the words which were the cornerstone of education, she says in the Education and Peace. This cornerstone of the past education were that we have to announce to the children that we are all brothers. It was August 37 in Copenhagen when Montessori said, the true fundamental problem is to heal the humanity and to orient the development of human individuality according to the grand concept of the human being as the king of the universe. This human being, king of the universe, she says, king of earth and sky, king of visible things and of invisible energies, this is the human being who must reign. His kingdom is doubtless all the earth, but the real kingdom is the one he brings inside himself. So we can conclude that today the importance of education is immense because we have more than we realize. Montessori says we have everything. We must be able to give a value to what we have and to enjoy it. We need a blow of universality that accompanies the human beings until death. The human being so prepared, conscious of their cosmic mission, these special human beings will be able to build the new world of peace. But I see that there is a piece missing because it was talking of the party of the child, something I was very interested to present to you because this is something that we can easily do for ourselves. Yes, we skipped a piece, I'm sorry, because it wasn't supposed to be like this. Montessori, in one of her, in a part of the book Education and Peace, says, today's war is not made of hate towards the enemy, because we fight today against one enemy, and tomorrow we must, tomorrow we will become allied with the enemy of yesterday. But at a certain point, she talks of how nothing can be obtained in the adult world if we don't work, of course, first in the child's world. And Montessori asks for the minister of infancy in every country, also of a children representative in every parliament. She sees also the great necessity for the party of the child. And at the Copenhagen International Montessori Congress in August 1937, she gives very precise reasons and guidelines for this social party of the child. She says, first of all, is recognition of the dignity of children and young people. It is the duty of the parents to defend the rights of children, because children are not thrown on earth by nature. They have been entrusted to a father and a mother with the mission of love. And Montessori sees the social party of the child as a great possibility for preventing many wrongs present in our society and as an action for the collaboration of all humanity. So I was thinking, coming here in the long hours of the airplane from London, that we maybe can see how this could be realized, this dream of Montessori, to have in the different countries where especially Montessori education is so active, to have the social party of the child. And I thought of myself that I will go and check how you can make in a country a social party. I mean, there must be certainly something. I can, this is, I go back to the Mahatma Gandhi says, I own that I have an immovable faith in God and His goodness. Maybe I already read it, I'm sorry, then I repeat. I remain an optimist. Not that there is any, yes, this I have been reading, but then there is only, I'm sorry, this is, it was all so many days of putting it together in a right way. So, let me find the last pieces. So, it's a great humiliation to have prepared for a long time all this, but we must accept humiliation in life. What can we do? In any case, I think that I can close with some words of Montessori which are so strong. The real peace is the triumph of justice and love between human beings. I think that if we can realize in our place this party of the child, which of course has as its main duty this of providing a peaceful environment for children, I think that we are giving Montessori a great satisfaction. And I think that this event is the most favorable for spreading it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Silvana Quattrochi Montanaro. It's so encouraging to hear about the infancy course, as India is making all the efforts to get the course to, so that it would be hosted for the first time. And of course, attending to the deliberations of the evening. I now invite Carla Foster to lead the volunteers who would take a bow. And Carla will tell you how you can utilize their services for the rest of the Congress.
There's somebody going to be talking in a few days about work as worship, and we've just been worshiping for 6 weeks or more. The children in the orange kurtas, they are in service to you. They have been working every Saturday. We've had a flood in between, but we came back. And they have learned this campus inside and out. They have learned the program. They have learned about Kalakshetra. Please use them. I'd like them to come up on stage so that you take a very good look at them. Come. Children. We also have some adults from Abacus and Navadisha Montessori schools, and from Kalakshetra. We've had the pleasure of learning how to work together. The students are from Abacus and Navadisha. They didn't know, many of them didn't know each other. I didn't know them, they didn't know me. And we've learned an awful lot about the future of mankind by working together. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Kamini Sundaram, Director, Abacus Montessori School, and an AMI board member who will acknowledge the generous support we have received on behalf of the Congress Committee. And following this presentation, we'll have a very rich cultural presentation, which Ms. Leela Sampson, the Director of Kalakshetra, will be introducing. Kamini Sundaram.
Friends, this Congress has come about with the collective support of many, many people. And it is my privilege to say thank you on behalf of the Congress Committee. To every delegate here, this is a gathering of people from all over the world who are drawn by the vision of a great educational idea, who have been inspired to make a journey to be at this gathering. We are overwhelmed by your response and hope that you will find here the opportunity for sadhana that we have tried to offer. It is my privilege to thank you for being here, and together I hope that each of us will be enriched by this experience. To each of the AMI Montessori material manufacturers who go through rigorous requirements of the AMI Materials Committee to provide materials to Montessori schools for their generosity in supporting this Congress. To Gonzaga Reddy, Italy, who have had a long association with AMI and have always supported AMI and AMI Congresses for supporting this one. To Matsumoto Kagaku, Japan, more recently approved by AMI, working to provide Montessori materials to schools in Japan and the rest of the world. Their generosity in supporting this Congress, although they were unable to be here, is enormously appreciated. To Nienhuis Montessori, the Netherlands, who have a long relationship with AMI spanning 2 generations, I believe, This is the second time that India has experienced their wholehearted support. The last time, during the 1989 gathering, it was with their help that we were able to invite Mario Montessori Jr. to India to speak at the Montessori in India 50 years. To Kalakshetra Museum and Archives, who made available to the Congress Montessori materials for display used perhaps in the 1940s in their Montessori section. They also made available to us the displays outside and the honorary AMI diploma given to Dr. George Sidney Arundale. The Montessori materials were carefully restored by Pratishta Creative Learning Equipments, Hyderabad, and the Congress is grateful to Rati Kotwal for taking on this work. We thank the primary teachers of Abacus Montessori School for setting up the museum and displays. To Vinay Jain for designing the beautiful logo, the letterheads, the bookmarks, and the poster for the Congress, also the book cover for Montessori in India 70 years, and the logo for the envisioned Indian Montessori Foundation. To the children of Abacus and Navadisha, and the students of Kalakshetra, for coming in week after week to tour and map the grounds of Kalakshetra and get an understanding of the Congress program in order to look after our guests in the spirit of Seva, and to the teachers and the coordinators who worked with them. No such event, no school, no work of community can happen without the support and commitment of volunteers. The various subcommittees that took on the different tasks of the Congress wholeheartedly, with thoroughness and efficiency, working with each other, were formed by the people of Abacus, Besant Arundale School, Navadisha, Patashala, Shrishti, and Vriksha. To Jayashri Radhakrishnan and Nandini Joshi of Vriksha and Sangeeta Ramkumar, who took charge of the requirements of the venue, working alongside Kalakshetra to prepare for the Congress requirements here. To Pratima Murlidhar of Shrishti Montessori School and Priya, Chitra Gopinath, Mr. and Mrs. Santana Kumar, Shankari Ravindran, Priya, and Usha Kamraj, who took charge of hospitality and the arrangements at the hotels for all the delegates. To Pathshala Montessori School, led by Bhavani Kumar, the teachers and the parents, who organized the Montessori Walk as a precursor to the Congress on August 31st, to the teachers of Navadisha, who distributed more than 10,000 letters, bookmarks, and posters to schools in Chennai, Bangalore, and Mumbai to publicize the Congress. A special thanks to Lata and Ganesh for the stellar job of the registrations, going into every detail with alertness. A special thank you to Madhura Kumar Vishweshwaran for single-handedly doing the major work on sponsorships. To the staff and parents of Navadisha and Abacus for taking charge of transportation for delegates, Kausalya and Akila Srikant, Usha Kamraj, Vijay Daikar, Kamal, Sridhar, Arul, Chinnadurai, Jai Ganesh, Murali, Kalpana, Shashi Rekha, Geetanjali, and Jai Kumar. To the primary teachers of Abacus Montessori School, Banu, Yasmin, Divyata, Sajita, Preeta, Prasad, Hema, and Bhuma, for taking charge of safety, health, and environment. To Sheila of Besant Arundale School and Shashikala, Shobana, Aparna, Savitri, Padma, and Ranganaiki for doing a fantastic job on school visits this morning. To Mr. and Mrs. Hariharan for taking charge of all the catering for the Congress. And now I'll get the pronunciation right. To Prasanna Srinivasan, Vasumati Srinivasan, Hadrian Roche, Govind Venkatesan, Rukmini Ramachandran for the fabulous book Montessori in India 70 Years. To all the members of the exhibitors subcommittee, from Abacus Montessori School, Ramesh, Malini, Meena, Kanchanamala, Sneha and Vinu, Uma Jalapati and Madhura, as well as David, Geetanjali and Bharti, for working to bring the Montessori material manufacturers to India and to get exhibitors to put up stalls at the Congress and raise funds. To Saravanan, Neeta Soni and Jamuna for setting up art workshops for the children volunteers to make the signage for this venue, and with Rachna Muta to talk to schools all over India to make posters for display. And finally, to everyone at Kalakshetra, the security staff, the service staff, the kitchens, who took us in like family, saw the children home, made sure we got the sustenance we needed, the teachers at Kalakshetra who accommodated classes to send volunteers, decorated the stage, let us run a treasure hunt for the children while their exams were on, to the Kalakshetra board for giving us this beautiful venue and supporting the Congress with funds that took care of all the printing. And most of all, to Leela Sampson for her large-heartedness and generosity in putting the venue at our disposal in every way. Everyone felt completely at home, be it the committee members, the volunteers, or the children. There was always space to plan and think and be. It was a prepared environment to carry out the work of sadhana. Leela herself was always available. Her office was open to the Congress late into the night. She looked into every detail, be it designing kurtas or delicate bags, doing her own work alongside, signing a Congress letter in the midst of her dance practice, or having her puppy attend some of the meetings. We offer her our grateful thanks. This event made it possible for different schools to come together, both parents and teachers, to work together in the spirit of service. And we thank AMI for giving us this opportunity and the honor of hosting this, the 26th International Montessori Congress. Thank you.
Prepared for what I think is going to be a delightful concert by very, very little children. I'd like to draw your attention to a most wonderful crafts bazaar, which has been brought to us by Laila Tabji, who's sitting in the dark there. And under the banner of Dastakar, I would suggest that everyone pays that many visits, because it's been done with over 67 craftspeople from all over India. It's been brought together with much thought and love, and we owe it to them. We also have a wonderful group of musicians from Rajasthan, whom you'll hear as you exit the hall this evening, and who will be with us over the next few days. The program that is to follow has been put together by several eminent gurus. One of them, Viku Vinayakaram sir, is sitting there on that chair. We first have Srimati Akhila Shiva's students, Aishwarya, Matangi, Lakshmi Priya, Purna and Asha, who will sing for us.
Rajam bhaje, Shri Vignarajam 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 bhaje, Santatamakam Kunjaramugam Shankarisutam Tamika Shri Vignarajam bhaje, सन्ततमकं तन्ति सुन्दरमुखम् अन्तकान्तकसुतं तमिक श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे सेवित सुरेन्द्र महनीय गुणशीलं जपतप समाधि सुखवरदानुकूलं सेवित सुरेन्द्र महनीय गुणशीलं जपतप समाधि सुखवरदानुकूलं भावित सुरमुनिगण भक्त परिपालं भयङ्कर विशङ्क मातङ्ग कुलकालं भावित सुरमुनिगण भक्त परिपालं भयङ्कर विशङ्क मातङ्ग कुलकालं श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे कनककेयूर हारावली कलित गम्भीर गौरगिरिशोभं स्वशोभं कनककेयूर हारावली कलित गम्भीर गौरगिरिशोभं स्वशोभं कामादिभयभरित मूढमद कलिकलुष कण्ठितमकण्ठ प्रतापम् कामादिभयभरित मूढमद कलिकलुष कण्ठितमकण्ठ प्रतापम् सनकसुख नारद पतञ्जलि पराशर मतङ्ग मुनि शङ्खसल्लाभम् सनकसुख नारद पतञ्जलि पराशर मतङ्ग मुनि शङ्खसल्लाभम् सत्य परमब्जनयनं प्रमुद मुक्तिकर तत्त्वमसि नित्य निगमादिस्वरूपम् सत्य परमब्जनयनं प्रमुद मुक्तिकर तत्त्वमसि नित्य निगमादिस्वरूपम् श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे श्रीविघ्नराजं भजे नमो रघुनन्दना सेतुबन्धना भक्तचन्दना रामवन्दनमो रघुनन्दना सेतुबन्धना भक्तचन्दना रामवन्दनमो रघुनन्दना सेतुबन्धना भक्तचन्दना रामवन्दनमो रघुनन्दना सेतुबन्धना भक्तचन्दना रामवन्दनमो रघुनन्दना श्रीरमानाथो वादमा श्रीरमानाथो वादमा श्रीरमानाथो वादमा नेबेदमाइति मोदमा रमा श्रीरमानाथो वादमा नेबेदमाइति मोदमा रमा वन्दनमो रघुनन्दना सेतुबन्धना भक्तचन्दना रामवन्दनमो रघु చందన రామ వందనము రఘునందన. ఎంత మాత్రమున ఎవరు తలచిన అంత మాత్రమే నీవు. ఎంత మాత్రమున ఎవరు తలచిన అంత మాత్రమే నీవు. అంతరాంతరము లెంచి చూడ పిండంతే నిప్పటి అన్నట్లు. అంతరాంతరము లంచి చూడ పిండంతే నిప్పటి అన్నట్లు. ఎంత మాత్రమున ఎవరు తలచిన అంత మాత్రమే నీవు. కొలుతురు మేము వైష్ణవులు గోరిమితో విష్ణుడని పలుకుతురు మేము వేదాంతులు పరబ్రహ్మం పనుసు. కొలుతురు మేము వైష్ణవులు గోరిమితో విష్ణుడని పలుకుతురు మేము వేదాంతులు పరబ్రహ్మం పనుసు. తలతురు మేము శైవులు తగిన భక్తులను శివుడనుసు. తలతురు మేము శైవులు తగిన భక్తులను శివుడనుసు. అలరి పొగడుతురు కాపాలి కులాది భైరవుడనుసు. అలరి పొగడుతురు కాపాలి కులాది భైరవుడనుసు. ఎంత మాత్రమున ఎవరు తలచిన అంత మాత్రమే నీవు. సరినెన్నుతురు శాక్తేయులు శక్తి రూపుని వనుసు. దర్శనములు మేము నానా విధులను తలపుల వలదుల భజింతురు. సరినెన్నుతురు శాక్తేయులు శక్తి రూపుని వనుసు. దర్శనములు మేము నానా విధులను తలపుల కొలదుల భజింతురు. శివుల మిమునే అల్ప బుద్ధి తలచిన వారికి అల్పం బౌదు. కరిమల మిమునే గణమని తలచిన గణబుద్ధులకు గనుడవు. నీ వలన కొరతే లేదు మరి నీరు కరతి తామెరవు. ఆవల భాగీరథి గరిబావుల ఆ జలమే ఊరిన ఎట్లు. నీ వలన కొరతే లేదు మరి నీరు కరతి తామెరవు. ఆవల భాగీరథి గరిబావుల ఆ జలమే ఊరిన ఎట్లు. శ్రీ వెంకటపతి నీవైతే మము చేకొని ఉన్న దైవమని. శ్రీ వెంకటపతి నీవైతే మము చేకొని ఉన్న దైవమని. ఈ వలనే నీ చరణనిదను. ఇది ఏ పరతత్వము నాకు. ఇది ఏ పరతత్వము నాకు. ఇది ఏ పరతత్వము నాకు.
Carnatic music for the first time. When in doubt, watch the hands. Now we have the Sri Jai Ganesh Talvadya Vidyalaya, which proudly presents voice percussion. Concept devised by Padma Shri Viku Vinayakaram sir. Vinayakaram sir is a treasure. In our country, we consider these people to be our national treasures. I do. This will be conducted by his son, Shri V. Uma Shankar. And the young boys before you are Shri S. Shri Krishna, Shri P. Satya Vagishwaran, Maitreyam, D. Vishnu, V. Vignesh, Pranav Kannan, G. Arish, D. Bharat, and R. Vignesh. This is voice percussion.
Ta, di, dum, nam, 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 ta, ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na Mata Pita Guru Deva Ganapati Shankara ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, ta ka di na ta, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka di, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka do, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka nam, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka dom tam, taka taka tari kita taka tam, taka nam dom taka tari kita taka tam, taka dom, kita taka tam, taka dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka tam, taka taka tari kita taka tam, taka taka tari kita taka taka tari kita taka talang kadom, kita kita taka talang kadom, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka talang kadom, talang kadom, talang kadom, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang kadom, kat talang kadom, dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang kadom, kat talang kadom, dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang kadom, dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang kadom, dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang kadom gatta, talang kadom gatta, talang kadom gatta, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka di, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka dom, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka nam, kita kita taka taka tari kita taka dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka talang dom, kita taka taka tari kita taka dom tam, taka taka tari kita taka tam, taka nam nam taka taka tari tari kita taka tam takadum kita taka tam takadum kita taka taka tari kita taka tam takataka tari kita taka tam takataka tari kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum kita taka talam kadum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum kita taka tari kita taka takdum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dum kita taka taka tari kita taka takdum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dum kita taka taka tari kita taka taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dum kita taka taka tari kita taka taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum gattam talam kadum gattam talam kadum gattam kita taka taka tari kita taka dik kita taka taka tari kita taka dum kita taka taka tari kita taka nam kita taka taka tari kita taka taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dum kita taka taka tari kita taka takadum tam taka tari kita taka tam takanam dum taka tari kita taka tam takataddum kita taka tam takataddum kita taka taka tari kita taka tam taka tari kita taka tam taka tari kita taka tari kita taka talam kadum kita taka talam kadum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum kita taka taka tari kita taka taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dum kita taka taka tari kita taka taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dum kita taka taka tari kita taka taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam dum kita taka taka tari kita taka taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum taddum kita taka taka tari kita taka talam kadum gattam 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 takadimi takajunu takadimi takajun takadimi takajunu 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 takadatta tattatta 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 tatata 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 ta 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 takadinata 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 takadinata
Kolatam. Kolatam is a little dance done by young girls with sticks in their hands. The music for this Kolatam was composed by one of our staff, Sri Hari Prasad, to traditional lyrics. The dance was composed for the children by Hariharan, who is sitting here, and who will be doing the Natvangam, or playing the cymbals Singing today for the children is Jyotishmati. On the mridangam, the percussion drum is Anil Kumar. Accompanying them on the flute is Shashidhar. And playing the veena is Kuruchi Balaji. The dancers this evening are Jaya Harshini, Saumya, Suhasini, Janani, Meghna, Kritika, Ananya, Monica, Gayatri, Adiga, Maitreyi, Nikhila, Greta and Nile. A Kolatam. The folk form, the Kolatam.
Thαλong Guttakadi Guttakata Dingina Tum Tai Yam Ta Ta Tai Yam Ta 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 Tayyam tatta tayyam ta tayyam tatta tayyam ta tayyam tatta tayyam ta tayyam tatta tayyam ta. Thαλong Guttakadi Guttakata Dingina Tum Tai Yam Ta Ta Tai Yam Ta 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 Tayyam tatta tayyam ta tayyam tatta tayyam ta tayyam tatta tayyam ta tayyam tatta tayyam ta. Thαλong Guttakadi Guttakata Dingina Tum Tai Hát Tai Hi 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 Tai Hát Tai Hi. Thαλong Guttakadi Guttakata Dingina Tum Ta Ha Ta Jam Ta Ri Ta Jam Ta Ri Ja Ka Ta Ri Tai Ta Ding Gin Na Tum Ta Ka Ta Ding Gin Na Tum Ta Ka Di Ku Ta Ding Gin Na Tum Ta Ha Ta Jam Ta Ri Ta Jam Ta Ri Ja Ka Ta Ri Tai Ta Ding Gin Na Tum Ta Ka Ta Ding Gin Na Tum தக்க திக்கு ததிங்கிண்ண தும் தா ஹத்த ஜம் தரி தா ஜம் தரி ஜக்க தரி தை தத்திங்கிண்ண தும் தக்க தத்திங்கிண்ண தும் தக்க திக்கு தத்திங்கிண்ண தும் தா ஹத்த ஜம் தரி தா ஜம் தரி ஜக்க தரி தை தத்திங்கிண்ண தும் தக்க தத்திங்கிண்ண தும் தக்க திக்கு தத்திங்கிண்ண தும்.
கோலெடுத்தாடிடுவோம் கோலன் லீலையை பாடிடுவோம் கோலெடுத்தாடிடுவோம் கோலன் லீலையை பாடிடுவோம் கோலெடுத்தாடிடுவோம் கோலன் லீலையை பாடிடுவோம் நாத கோபம் தாழலே பணிந்து கோலடி தாடிடுவோம் நாத கோபம் தாழலே பணிந்து கோலடி தாடிடுவோம் சுந்தரி ராதையுடன் கண்ணன் சொந்தமாய் தானிருக்க சுந்தரி ராதையுடன் கண்ணன் சொந்தமாய் தானிருக்க அந்தரங்கமதி அடைதேற்காள் இன்பம் சுந்தரி ராதை தானும் அந்தரங்கமதி அடைதேற்காள் இன்பம் சுந்தரி ராதை தானும் கோலெடுத்தாடிடுவோம் கோபால லீலையை பாடிடுவோம் நாத கோபம் தாழலே பணிந்து கோலடி தாடிடுவோம் சுந்தரி ராதையுடன் கண்ணன் சொந்தமாய் தானிருக்க அந்தரங்கமதி நடந்தேற்காள் இன்பம் சுந்தரி ராதை தானும் அந்தரங்கமதி நடந்தேற்காள் இன்பம் சுந்தரி ராதை தானும் அந்தரங்கமதி நடந்தேற்காள் சுந்தரி ராதை தானும் அந்தரங்கமதி நடந்தேற்காள் இன்பம் சுந்தரி ராதை தானும் கோலெடுத்தாடிடுவோம் கோபால லீலையை பாடிடுவோம் கோலெடுத்தாடிடுவோம் கோபால லீலையை பாடிடுவோம் நாத கோபம் தாழலே பணிந்து கோலடி தாடிடுவோம் நாத கோபம் தாழலே பணிந்து கோலடி தாடிடுவோம் நாத கோபம் தாழலே பணிந்து கோலடி தாடிடுவோம் பகையருளமதை கண்ணன் பரிசோதிக்க எண்ண